What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks and JC Zargo. JC, great debut last week, giving out winners. People loved it. We got some great feedback. We're happy to have you back on Monday. But hey, did you see this slate? We are putting you to work because we got 15 games to go over today on the NBA Rundown. Welcome back. How was your weekend, JC?
Thank you, man. I had a great weekend. Always happy to be here. Yeah, I pulled up the schedule last night when I was, running my projections and stuff, and I was like, "Holy crap, we got everybody's playing today. It's going to be a long show, but should be a good show."
Yeah, and I think Tyler, you were the one that told me this, right? The reason they're doing that is because it's election day tomorrow, and hey, that's pretty good. It raises awareness because I didn't realize it was election day. So, hey, great job by the NBA there, but it definitely put us to work. What were your thoughts on something that went on in the NBA this weekend, Tyler? I'll tell you what, I got tricked by that Kyrie Irving report. I thought he really retired.
Yeah, you thought he retired, which I don't think it's a crazy possibility, but until we get an actual reliable source putting that information out, I'm not buying it. And I mean, as for the weekend, the only game I really had eyes on was the Cavs-Lakers game yesterday. And the Cavs in that first half, I mean, they had the guards back. They were dominating that game through the guards. But the score at halftime was pretty even because neither big man for the Cavs had any points. They both had 0, and I believe they had a combined 4 rebounds. They go into the locker room. Coach gets them all fired up. They come back out. Jared Allen and Mobley take over the game, and they just dominate it from there on out. They win by 14, cover the -3 or the -4.5, whatever you got in at it. And the more I watch this team spread, I think they're one of the top teams in the East. I think they're up there with the Bostons and the Milwaukee. I know I said it last week. I'm going to keep saying it because I think this team is legit.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell's actually playing defense, and that makes quite the difference here. So, but hey, we got a lot to go on. Let's jump right into today's slate. Tyler, you're hoping Bookmaker didn't lead us wrong today. Let's see what the order of the games they have. So, hey, if it's off, it's a little bit. I'm pulling it up right now. We had some extra money. We had a great weekend over at Run Pure. So I'm loving looking at that account balance when I'm pulling in. And let's continue to add to it today. The Washington Wizards are +2.5 on the road in Charlotte, taking on the Hornets with a total of 214. Money line of +125. JC, we'll start with you. Wizards and Hornets. Maybe not the most exciting game on the schedule, but it should be a good one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, man, this is a tough one at the line. I mean, both teams kind of on a losing skid. Both teams really need a win. I could see either team kind of breaking out and having a game here. I lean Wizards, but I'm also kind of digging the under. When you look at how these teams played recently, I mean, in their last 3 games, Charlotte's put up 94, 99, 88, Washington 97, 86, and then their third game 121. So it's like they're capable of putting up points, but they just haven't been doing it recently. So I think it should be a breakout team. For one of them, I kind of lean Washington.
All right. What are you thinking here, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this one, Beal's questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. is also questionable. They're still without Martin. He's also doubtful. And Hayward and Ball are all out. So, I mean, it's a back-to-back for Washington. They're going to a different arena, which I love to fade those spots. But to be honest with this game, it's probably just going to be over or pass for me. I don't want to get involved on the sides. The Hornets aren't all that good. And at a short number like this, I don't want to back them and then watch them get the doors blown off them. So just give me the over here, and the rest of it I'm going to stay away from.
Yeah, we have so many opportunities tonight. There's definitely no need to force anything. My numbers came out to like Washington, but I think there's some good reasons that maybe this is just a complete stay away spot. My numbers also like the over here. What were your thoughts on that, JC?
Like I said, I mean, I could see that. Again, it's kind of just an overall stay away, but just based on how they're playing recently, I kind of lean under. But yeah, you could probably talk me into the over.
All right. Tyler, did you have any player props for this game?
Looking at this one, the only guys I'd probably get on is maybe a Kuzma or maybe even a Porzingis. But looking at these with that news on Bradley Beal, there are no props out for the Wizards yet. So still waiting on the exact numbers on those. I'd play Kuzma's points up to about 17.5, though.
I mean, you got to think with Beal out there, my projections are pretty much worthless. So we should just look at this, look at this game just from a handicapping perspective and watching basketball. And with 15 to go through, maybe we come back here, but maybe we just lay off this one altogether. Let's talk about the Houston Rockets, who are now +5 in Orlando, taking on the Magic. Total 224.5. Tyler, we do like Orlando. We think we're pretty cool, but are they ready to lay 5? I had this game Actually, I had this game right around 5, so I guess that seems about right. What are your thoughts here? Start with you, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, KPJ just popped up questionable on the report with an illness, which we know when we see those late day ads, he probably isn't going to play today. Who's the other guy that just came? Jabari Smith came off the injury report. He's probable, so he'll likely be back here. It's that game of which is going to dominate this game spread, the guards for the Rockets or the bigs for Orlando. I'm going to trust the team that's got about 4 7-footers on it in Orlando. And I just think Bol Bol is going to have his way. There's nobody on that team that can guard Paulo. Wendell Carter should walk himself into a double-double. And if Mo Bamba sees any time, he's going to put up nice stats. So give me Orlando here to win the game and cover.
I mean, JC, he says there's no one on that team that can guard Paulo. I'd argue that one of Houston's problems is there's no one on the team that can guard anybody. How are you looking at this game?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had flashbacks to last year. Like, I know when these teams met up, it meant points. I mean, last year the totals were in the 230s. Based on how they're playing this year, 226 feels a little bit high. But I don't know. I'm kind of just going to lean on that the history between the teams. I'm taking the over, and I do like the Magics, and I may even take an alt line. I mean, just based on, I think they can run over Rockets, and like you said, they got no one that can guard them. I'll see what some alt lines look at later in the day, but I think Magic should run away with this one.
Tyler, do you have any props for this game?
The only one I'd play in this one spread would be Apollo PRA, and you're getting that rate about 35.5.
Okay, and you don't think that's too high?
What would you say?
That's not too high, 35.5?
No, I don't think so, because I think he could be good for 30 points right here. There's nobody's going to play defense. Could be an up-tempo game. He gets hot from 3. He's definitely going to put up 25 plus.
All right. JC, any
I
more
really
on
like
this game?
Go
ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I really like Paolo's rebounds. They're locked now, but I caught it this morning at 8.5.
Nice.
I feel like there's probably plenty of missed shots, so plenty of opportunities, clean boards. He's had 8+ in like most of his games, so that was kind of an easy prop play for me.
All right, Tyler, looks like bookmakers got us in order so far. The next one, Oklahoma City Thunder -2 in Detroit, taking on the Pistons, total of 223.5. Just should be an interesting spot here. Oklahoma City 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games, but they're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 against Detroit. What are your thoughts on this one, Tyler?
What if I told you this is one of the cleanest injury reports on the board spread? Probably wouldn't believe me.
Oklahoma City? They're going to pump fake us.
There's one guy on the injury report for OKC, and it's Poku, and he's already out. So, I mean, on the other side,
doesn't mean anything to my numbers.
No, it means,
literally
pretty much
nothing. I don't adjust anything if I see
nope,
he's out.
nothing, not a damn thing. Alec Burks is still out on the Detroit side. Duran's probably
he hasn't played a game this year though.
No, and Duran's likely back here. This game is basically pick the winner with the short spread. We like backing OKC at the bigger spreads. Give me Detroit here to win the game. I think SGA and Cade just go back and forth against each other. And I just trust the pieces around Cade more than I do SGA right now, especially at home. We know we like to back Detroit at home. Just give me them to win the game outright right here.
All right. What are your thoughts there, JC?
Man, I don't know. So, because when I was looking at this game last night, OKC was the dog. They were a 2.5-point favorite, and I was liking that. So that's serious line movement. I don't really know what to make of that, but I kind of lean OKC as well. They're probably going to have to dig into that more.
All right. Any props, Tyler?
The only ones I'd play in this one would maybe just be going to Cade and SGA. Are their points, their PRAs, or their points plus assists.
Okay. All right. Anything more on this game before? Hey, we're doing pretty good. Anything more on this game before we move on?
That's it for me on that one.
Yeah, guys, normally we go a little deeper into these games, but with a 15-game slate and, of course, Talking Dutchdowns coming up next, we're going to nail through these, just give you the winners, some quick insight, and then of course, keep going here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Guys, we're doing this here every day for you, Monday through Friday. All that we ask is you give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when we go live, but let us continue on. JC, the New Orleans Pelicans are -5.5 against the Indiana Pacers. Total of 234 here. I'll have to check this injury report. How clean is it? I don't see a lot in here. Neesmith and Nemberhard, Tyson, Temple out. Not a big deal on the injury report. It's pretty clean. Pelicans leaving 5.5 on the road against a Pacers team that we don't rate highly. How are you approaching this one, JC?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. I mean, Pelicans, they're so inconsistent. Like, they can totally ball out and cover that. but I don't like the way they're playing enough to lay those points. So give me the Pacers to cover. Like I said, it's just until I see the Pelicans win on a more regular basis, I'm gonna have a hard time laying that many points with them.
Tyler, you're a Pelicans cheerleader. Do you agree with JC? Is he underestimating your boys?
I mean, at full strength, I think so. I mean, looking at this injury report, I don't see anybody on it for them. I think they're going to come out after last game against Atlanta, where it was kind of just like a back and forth game. Like you watch one team go up 10, you blinked, and the other team was up 10, and all of a sudden they're in overtime, and then Atlanta was able to pull away from it. I think New Orleans comes in, they're going to absolutely dominate inside. Like I don't see anybody stopping Zion, Joe Val. If Brandon Ingram wants to get to the rim, he will. So I'm going to side with the Pelicans here. Both of these teams are also top 10 in pace. You got to think this is a very up-tempo game, so I kind of like the over there also. And Indy's 2-5 ATS in their last 7 against Western Conference opponents. Now they're going to get possibly the best defense in the Western Conference. Give me the Pels here.
All right. Any props for you, Tyler?
No, not many in this game.
JC, did you have any other thoughts on this one before we move on?
I tempted to take Zion over 24.5 points. I could see him completely coming out and dominating. Having a big game.
You don't think who's this Isaiah Jackson? Is that the guy you think that we matched up with a lot?
Yeah, that's probably who draws them.
Yeah, I think Zion's going to crush that. It was so fun watching the Pelicans play the Lakers. I know they ended up losing, and we didn't cash our ticket on that game because Dyson Daniels didn't make his free throws. But Zion looked like what LeBron used to look like, right? I mean, he looked so much quicker. He was just getting up in the air. He's so much fun to watch. I hope he stays healthy. And I don't want to play his under anytime soon, especially not in a matchup of Indiana, who we've always targeted bigs against, not only in props, but in daily fantasy. And, of course, if you want access to those daily fantasy cores, head on over to redpuresports.com, become a member. You either win with us or watch us win. The Phoenix Suns are -2.5 in Philadelphia, taking on the 76ers with a total of 215. Tyler, I hate doing 76ers games on this show. Why? Because we never know whether or not Embiid's going to play. The guy lives on the injury report. He should pay rent on that injury report. That's how often he's in there. What do you think, Tyler? What do we do with this game? I guess we can just cap it assuming he's going to play. What do you think?
Doesn't matter if he's in or not. Spread. Suns are winning this game. Lay it with them. Best bet alert. Look at the way this matches up. There's no Harden. So Maxey has to have the ball in his hands the whole time. Well, now what do you do with Mikal Bridges on the other side? He's going to look around and be like, who am I guarding? He's going right after Maxey. You stop Maxey. Well, now all the offense has to flow through the big guy. And we've seen when you double team him, he just kind of throws the ball away. So definitely like his turnovers. If he plays today, the over on that, it's usually right around 3.5. Because the Suns know you double him, you let Ayton work his way into the post, you send one of the other guys over, he's going to throw the ball away. So the moment you do that to him a few times, he's going to get frustrated. He's going to gas. They're just going to get blown out here. It doesn't matter. They're at home. Give me the Suns here, -1, -2. If it gets up to 3, give me -3.
JC, Tyler loves the Suns. He's taking a stand. He says, I don't need an injury report. What do you think?
Oh, I completely agree. Like I saw this line and I had no clue why it was where it is. Completely agree. It's the bet of the night. This and the over. I hate parlays, but you might just go ahead and parlay the Suns and the over. I don't get it. I have no idea why the spread is this small. Portland's the only team that can beat Phoenix. I mean, they'd be undefeated if they didn't have to play Portland. So just, lock it in. Don't even think twice about it. Absolutely the bet of the day. Suns to cover, no doubt.
Hey, Tyler, we were worried about the Suns team coming into the season, right? Their win total dropped, I think, by 10 or 11 games. DeAndre Ayton didn't even want to talk in the preseason. No Jay Crowder. This team's moved on without a beat. Of course, we're going to give credit to head coach Monty Williams, but are you as surprised as I am that Phoenix has just missed without a beat after all that offseason turmoil?
I mean, a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, what cures all problems, Fred? Winning. Yeah,
unless you're Jimmy Garoppolo, but we'll talk about that on Talking Touchdowns.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We also got some other football news, but we'll leave that for the next show. We got a new coach coming in, a little teaser.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. All right, there you have it for that game. JC, anything more on the Suns and the Sixers before we move on?
No.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, they staggered these pretty good. Boy, I don't even know what I'm going to do tonight. This is going to be insane. Sometimes on these nights, though, I watch so much basketball, it's like too much, and I
You
don't
got
remember
15 screens for all these games spread?
I mean, I'll put 4 up again tonight. I can do that. You know what, though? For football and baseball, you can do 4 to 6 screens. Basketball and like tennis, there's too much going on. Like I could put 4 screens up, but
speaking of tennis, you see that video I sent you yesterday of the guys in the stand? Like they're like, "Don't make it suspicious. Don't make it suspicious." And dude's dumping something in a bottle, and like the dude next to him like looks at him, and then looks at the guy in front of him, and they kind of like huddle around him and just like hold him there so you can't see him. And the ball boy runs over, gets the bottle off the dude, runs it back to whoever was playing tennis, and drops it in his bag for him. They were like, "Yeah, that's gotta be."
I'll have to rewatch that.
It's in your Twitter DM, so you can go check it out whenever you get the chance.
Oh,
I just had to touch on that.
I saw that you had sent me a tweet. I just assumed it was going to be Kyrie retiring, but then I found out that I got catfished.
You got bamboozled on that one.
I know. It's absolutely terrible. All right, but let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks, who are hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. The Hawks are +4 at home. The Bucks are undefeated. My number said to take the Hawks. I said, screw you, numbers. I'm not doing that. I'm not fading Milwaukee right now. You have to be absolutely kidding me. JC, we'll start with you. What do you see? How long is this Bucks undefeated streak going to continue?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they look unbeatable. The Hawks are a great team. But looking at the last time they played, I mean, Atlanta just spent the whole game chasing them. They couldn't keep up. Honestly, this is a stay away spot for me. I'll certainly watch it. I think it's going to be a great game. But I'm certainly not going to bet on the Bucks to lose. But I don't know. Atlanta's going to give them a run for their money.
All right. Yeah. So that's what my number said. But I just I don't blind bet the model. It's like a roadmap for me, right? But hey, if the GPS says to drive into a lake, right? I'm not Dwight Schrute. I'm not going to do that. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this one's tough, just like he said. Likely a stay away because you want to back the Bucks here. They're undefeated, but eventually that train's got to come to an end. And if there's any team that can do it, it's Atlanta that can get hot from 3. They have 2 guards. Drew Holiday can only guard one of these guys. So if they're both going off, like Grayson Allen isn't the guy to stop the other one. Giannis can't drop down and guard one of these guys. So it's like it's a weird matchup for them. But Trey's also questionable. So, I mean, it's probably a game I wait and live bet, see how both teams play, and maybe just try and get both sides at plus money.
Do you think that's possible? Should we start with the Hawks right now, or do we want to wait a little more?
I think you can wait.
Currently on the money line, the Hawks are already plus 150. That's usually our threshold for arbing. But you say wait?
I say wait.
All right. What do we want to get? Plus 170 on both sides? How greedy are we getting here, Tyler?
I would just hate to watch the Bucks just walk out onto the floor and just roll them. That's why I'm not getting in early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you have it. Any props for this game?
Got nothing in that one either.
All right. JC, any props for this game for you?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away completely.
It's so easy. Normally they'd be like, don't stay away, but on a 15-game slate, nobody cares because our bet slips are going to be crazy by the end of the night. The Portland Trailblazers are +8. They're not taking on the Suns, though. They're taking on the Miami Heat tonight. Heat laying 8 at home, total of 215. Heat have definitely struggled to start this season. The Portland Trailblazers playing pretty well, even without Damian Lillard in the lineup. JC, we'll start with you. How are you approaching it when the Heat host the Blazers?
I'm taking the money line. Give me the Blazers money line. I don't get this line.
Wow,
it seems like,
I love that.
Yeah. Seems like this line is based completely off of one game they played against each other. Like you take that off, your information, and it's a Blazers blowout. Like they got lucky one game. So what? Give me the plus. I think it's like plus 250 on the money line.
All right. So he's taking a stand there, Tyler. Hey, we stayed away from a lot of games, but he's taking a stand now. What do you think of that stand, and what are your thoughts on this game, Tyler?
I love that call because I'm not high on Miami at all this year. I don't think they're all that good. Do you look at the injury report, like, yeah, they're getting Butler back, but Hero might not be here. He's a big key in that offense.
He's huge right now for that team.
But the thing that sticks out to me about this game, 215, when neither team really plays defense, they're just going to let each other chuck up threes. Give me the over here spread. These two teams are both hanging at least $110.
Isn't that wild? Like Miami used to be like the under just queens. Like
yeah, but they're not. They're just letting teams play threes.
Games.
They're letting teams shoot a ton of threes, and they're making them too. So it's like I just see this game going way over that total. So give me the over here.
Why did Miami fall off in your mind, Tyler? PJ Tucker can't mean that much, can he?
I mean, look at the age of all these guys spread.
Old
Look at the age and miles on these guys.
Yeah, we're coming for the old guys today. I remember this on the Wishbone Pod. No, I completely agree with you. Jimmy Butler.
They said you were in custody on the Wishbone podcast.
Can you believe those guys? I was sitting here, nice guy, hardworking, really good on the videos, and then all of a sudden I go on that podcast and I'm labeled a serial killer. Unbelievable. JC, did you have any props for this game?
No, I didn't get a chance to look at those yet. I'm sure there's some juicy ones. I'll throw some on my best bet articles coming out later today.
All right, and let everyone know where they can find that best bet article.
Run Pure Bets, baby. RunPureBets.com. RunPure.com. Check out the betting section, articles. All my stuff is free. So come check it out if you're a subscriber. Tons of great information. But even if you're not ready to drop the dough, plenty of free information available for y'all.
All right, and that's what we're doing here at Run Pure. We'd like you to just check out the free content, take the money, get a subscription. How many subscriptions did you give out last year, Tyler? Just by giving out the winners, they take the parlay and they say, "Hey, I want to keep rolling with this kid. I want to get in the Discord. I want to get the parlays right before the game because, hey, right now it's 9:53 a.m. for me on the West Coast. A lot of things are going to change. But if you're a member of Run Pure, you're going to get that. What time do you usually put it out? About 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 my time, right? It's a same game parlay, and it's just a chance for us to swing for the fences. And Tyler's done an excellent job. So I can't say enough good things about becoming a member of RunPureSports.com. JC, we talked about this one before the game. I said my numbers like the Raptors, and you agreed. They've actually taken a little bit of money. It was Raptors +4 earlier. Right now, the Toronto Raptors are +3 in Chicago, taking on the Bulls. They ran this yesterday, right? Because that was my bet on the sheet. I love Raptors as a short home favorite. Now they're a short road dog. But you like the way they match up against Chicago. Talk to us, JC.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so tough when these teams play back-to-back like this. You never really know what you're going to get.
I like it better when they're in the same arena.
Yeah,
I think it's really – I don't understand what the point of traveling is, but I don't make the schedule.
For sure. So it's kind of weird, but I mean, the way the Raptors, gave them the work, and to see them as a dog, it's, don't overthink it. I'm just going to take those 3 points and run with them. They blew them out by 9. They can win again by 3. Or no, they can lose by 3. So even if they split, you're still good.
Tyler, do you agree here? Or do you think, I don't know, the Raptors are so good at home. I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know if I want to go back to that. Well, JC's telling me to. My numbers are telling me to. Is this a trifecta? Because I'll place this bet right now if you tell me to.
I mean, they're good at home spread, but they were 5-1 ATS in their last 6 on the road, while Chicago is 3-8 ATS in their last 11 at home. I mean, Chicago might have the advantage a bit inside with Vucevic, but he's not a big man that really takes giant advantage of these spots because they're already down Siakam. Keem Birch just got rolled out, which I don't think he was playing much anyway. So you'll have Capolo and Precious as your bigs here. They'll probably use Barnes a little bit too, maybe even play some small ball. So definitely like the Raptors here, and I like Van Fleet over 26.5 points plus assists. I think that number is way too low here. I think he can go for 20 points alone.
I'm sold. Team Raptors again tonight. Doesn't take me a lot to bet on this Toronto Raptors team. They have so much length and athleticism. Of course, one of the best coached teams in the NBA. Hey, we're making great time. If you guys like the way that we are efficiently running through this huge NBA slate, give us that thumbs up. Wow, we talk about the Boston Celtics, who are -3.5 on the road against Memphis on a total of 231. JC, we talked about this one before we went on. I had projected an under, and you said, hey, check those numbers. That doesn't seem right to me. What do you expect tonight when the Celtics are in Memphis?
First and foremost, I expect a great game. I mean, these are the 2 highest scoring teams in the league. They're both electric, fun to watch. I got no move on the spread. I could just easily see it going either way. Kind of whoever comes out hot should probably take this one. Might be a good live bet spot, but I'm raking the over. Give me the over 230. Like I said, 2 high scoring teams in the league. How could you not just jump on the over?
It's so crazy, right? Because Boston, I thought that huge run that they made last season was basically on the back of their defense. I mean, they
absolutely was.
Yeah, and of course, no Robert Williams in the lineup means a lot. Now, is Horford out again? Let me refresh my.
No, he's off the injury report. He's playing.
So he's playing. That gives him something in the middle. I mean, we could say we'd attack him down low. So JC likes the over there. Tyler, how are you approaching this one?
Yeah, don't hate his call on the over because I could definitely see both these teams putting up points. I'm going to side with the Celtics in this one. I just see it as both teams have to rely heavily on their stars. All three of those guys are getting crazy usage between Tatum, Brown, and Ja. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the Boston side, you have Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, and even Jaylen Brown can go down and guard Ja and chase him around the perimeter and try and tire him out and keep him away from the rim. Mind you, the rim protection isn't much there with Horford, so if he gets to the rim, he's going to get free buckets.
The rebounding isn't much either. Adams could have a huge night.
He's also questionable, though, so he might not be in here. It's just you got to wait and see on the inside with the bigs. But then on the other side, like the guys that are going to have to guard Tatum and Brown, like I think Bane's a tad bit too short to guard either of those guys. And Dylan Brooks is the only guy that could probably guard either of them. We know he's a foul machine. He's probably in foul trouble pretty quick.
He's probably in foul trouble right now.
Yeah, give me Boston to win and cover.
You got a foul on the way to the arena, Tyler.
He's already got 3 of them. He's already on the bench.
JC, did you have any props that you were eyeing for this game when the Celtics take on the Grizzlies? And probably one of
the I got a great one.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Ja Morant over 1.5 threes pays out plus 114, plus 114. I wish you could like bet on locations because one thing I know will happen in this game is Ja Morant is going to pull up one of those half-court threes. Like when the defense kind of lays back and he takes up the ball, he's going to pull one up from the logo. So there's one for you. You just got to find one more on the night.
Speaking of half-court threes, did anyone see De'Aaron Fox on Saturday? What is up with that? Let's go. What a great weekend for the Sacramento Kings. All right, let's keep going here on the slate, though. New York Knicks are plus 2.5 in Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves have been a disappointment. Travis Mangone is victory lapping me because I thought the Timberwolves were going to be so good this regular season. No show tomorrow, guys, because it is election day. There'll be no games on the NBA slate. So Travis is going to have to wait a week to rub it in. He's been right about the Timberwolves. Can the Timberwolves turn it around and get a win against a solid New York Knicks team, a team that I think is exceeding expectations? What do you think, Tyler?
It's going to be close because I think the biggest thing is Rudy Gobert's out. It gives them a tad bit more space.
But don't you think that gives them a little more continuity because they'll be playing like they were last year?
Yeah, that's why I think it helps them. He's out. It gives them the spacing also. It lets Cap back to his normal spot, gets the other guys back in. It also opens up the lanes for Ant Edwards to get to the hoop. Mitchell Robinson is in this game. So, I mean, he's also a foul machine, but the dude's a great shot blocker. So when he was in there, maybe he keeps Ant a bit away from the hoop. Without him, though, I mean, I think it's going to be tough for the Knicks to win this game. Small lean to the Minnesota side, but my favorite play in this one spread, Brunson over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He averages 30 this year. Minnesota's giving up 35 PRA to point guards. His unders came against teams that all rank in the top 3 in defensive rating over the last 3 games, and that was Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. His other loss was against Detroit when they won by 25 points. Minnesota's also 6th in pace and 22 in defensive rating. They're going to run up and down the floor. This dude could walk into 26-7. So I like the Brunson over 29.5 PRA here the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's really too bad that you're that far, you add Rudy and you're still that far down in defensive ratings. So it's been disappointing for Minnesota. Let's see if they can build some momentum when he's out and then maybe try and reintegrate him. JC, anything more from this game before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. I mean, line opened at Knicks plus 5.5. So seeing it move all the way down does kind of concern me when I was leaning New York. I could see it going either way for sure. But my moves here, I'll probably take the over 229.5. That's still sitting there.
Overs have been money this year.
Live. Wow, that one moved. That opened. No, it's all the way up. Dang, I don't know. Open at 229. It's up to 235 now. That's a little steep. Seeing this line movement. Yeah, I might stay away from that. The one play I do like, though, is RJ Barrett over 5.5 rebounds. Okay,
cool. Why are we going there?
I mean, the way he's been playing, he's capable of putting up a double-double easy. Actually, I take that back. So he's been around like 9 rebounds, 8-9 rebounds a lot of the time. Hasn't quite gotten that 10 yet. I think there'll be potential for a lot of missed shots, a lot of opportunities to clean up the boards. So 5.5 is just such a small number. I think he can get 6.
All right, RJ Barrett. That's an interesting way to look at that game because it feels like we missed a lot of the value if we do like the Knicks and we do like the over there. A play that I failed on, Tyler, was these two teams that are running it back now. The San Antonio Spurs were in Denver over the weekend, and I liked the Spurs to keep it within 11.5. They lost by 30. I mean, it wasn't even close. Now they run it back in San Antonio. This time the Spurs are catching 7.5 on a total of 234. My numbers told me to take the Spurs again. I said, screw you guys. I'm not doing that. I got so embarrassed with that last pick. What do you think about this one, Tyler? How should I approach this game? Do I need to just trust myself a little more, or was that just an anomaly and I need to adjust the way that I'm projecting these teams?
To be honest with you, spread, don't even bet this game. Don't trust the Nuggets. Don't bet against the Spurs because even at 7.5, like you look at it, it's like Denver should walk over this team, beat them by 30. Mm-hmm. But we know how Denver likes to play. We wouldn't be surprised if they're down by 15 at halftime and they win this game by 6. So I'm going to stay away from this Denver-San Antonio game as a whole. No props, nothing on the total, nothing on the side for me.
JC, Tyler says stay away from this game. I'm fine with that, but am I missing some value here? What are your thoughts on this one?
No, my notes on this one is hard pass. Completely agree. I mean, when you look at the last game, Denver blew out San Antonio. Back-to-back games, always tough. Like I said, you sometimes see a bounce-back spot by the other team. But, I mean, the Nuggets are just so much better. I got no interest in betting this game.
All right, that's fine with me. And on a 15-game slate, I'm sure that's fine with the people, too. We're going to have plenty in the bet slip by the end of the show. The Brooklyn Nets are +6 in Dallas, taking on the Mavericks, total 216.5. I already mentioned earlier that I got catfished by that Kyrie report, but regardless, he will not be playing tonight. He's still suspended, and that has been a boon for Kevin Durant usage, and of course the lineup that we made with AP on Friday here on the NBA Rundown. I was able to triple my money, but AP pulled a quick 8K talking about the players that we had there. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday to get the best in daily fantasy and sports betting information here. Give us a thumbs up. But Tyler, talk to us. KD, I like the Nets here. I like the Nets without Kyrie Irving, but you're opposite of me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this one, they look better without Kyrie. They're playing a bit better defense. But just like I talked about in an earlier game, the Boston-Memphis matchup, you look at the way this one matches up. Now, nobody in the league can guard KD outside of Giannis. But you could throw some bodies at him and try and tire him out. And what better guys to throw at him than Bullock, DFS? And you could just throw a couple different guys at him on that Dallas side. You could even throw a Christian Wood at him if he tries to go.
But isn't he just going to shoot over them?
He could shoot over him, but it's just bumping into him and tiring him out like Boston did in the playoffs last year. You just got to tire this guy out and just play physical with him. Dallas could also get really hot from 3 here against Brooklyn. And we've seen them play this matchup earlier in the year, and Luka went absolutely crazy in this matchup. I think it was a 40-point triple-double. If not 40, he was very close to it. So I think he could do that again here. I'm going to go with the double-double, and they win the game at +130, and the performance doubles on FanDuel. 6.5 does seem like a lot, but if you can't get that performance double, I do think they cover.
All right, and I like Kevin Durant's over on his point props. So Tyler and I are opposite. JC, what do you think?
Oh, dude, I'm taking Brooklyn all day. I think KD should probably call the chiropractor now because his back's going to hurt from carrying this team to victory. Love them at +6. Might throw half a unit on the money line, but that's just too many points. I mean, they're so much better without Kyrie. Really looks like they're turning things around. That new head coach ain't bad either. So give me
Jacques Vaughn.
Give me the Nets. Legend. Oh yeah, give me the Nets, and I completely agree. I don't over on Kevin Durant's points, 32.5. I normally don't like betting the point overs on top players like that, just because you never know what you're going to get. But like I said, he'll carry this team.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Tyler, and we'll have to wait till Wednesday for one of us to take that victory lap. Let's see if you can pull it off. I pulled it off against you and Kurt on Friday, and in fact, against you and AP. Do you remember when I took the Warriors? I got a victory lap that one.
Yeah, you got that one home too.
Yeah. Hey, I knew the young guys were going to.
You barely got that one home.
The money's still spent.
Yeah, the money's still spent.
The steak is in the freezer.
Would they cover by a half a point?
It was. I had +10.5, and they won by 9.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah.
What did Dom Toretto say?
Yeah. Pardon?
What did Dom Toretto say?
What did he say?
Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So we got that one home, and I was pretty happy about that. Let me victory lap. This is my weekend, Tyler. I got you and AP on Friday, and I got you and Kurt, man. It's going to be a great week here for Mr. Spread Astaire of RunPureSports.com. Make sure you give us that thumbs
You
up.
mean to tell me no serial killing this week?
Oh my gosh, are we going back to that? How much is JT Hayes paying you for that crack? Unbelievable. I can't. Oh my gosh. Uncle T, if you're in the chat, give me some support here. All right, let's move on to my favorite team, the Sacramento Kings, coming off that buzzer-beating win over the Orlando Magic. The fact that you need a buzzer beater to beat the Magic probably isn't a good sign, though. Going home against the Warriors team that should probably be pissed off. What have they lost, 4 or 5 in a row? Warriors team not doing well. And what team is better to get right against than my Sacramento Kings? As fun as it was on Saturday, I think that we're going to have a, what's that called, a reality check. Come to Jesus moment as the Warriors show us what it really means to be a good franchise in the NBA. I'm not too high on our prospects tonight. My numbers have the Warriors, and I tend to agree. JC, we'll start with you. Can the Kings continue their magic, or do we return to earth tonight?
I mean, I got to ask you, as a Kings fan, are they the best team in California right now?
No, the Warriors are.
Not the way they're playing right now. I mean, 3-7, both at the spread and straight up. Like, yes, the Warriors are a better team, but the way the Kings are playing right now, I've got a hard time taking laying 8 points with Golden State.
Wow. Okay. So JC says that the Kings won't get right. I mean, let's be honest. When you're a Kings fan, just keeping it close against the Warriors would be a win for us. Tyler, do you think we can keep it close?
I mean, maybe, but I just think in the end they pull away and win the game by about 10. I'm not going to sit here and lay it, though. If I'm going to bet this game, it'd be through these performance doubles. I mean, Steph to score 30 and Golden State win plus 160. Clay to get 20 and they wins plus 170. If you want to go through Wiggins 3 threes and Golden State wins plus 210. I'd rather do that than lay any points here because in the end, it wouldn't surprise any of us here if Golden State won this game by 3. And it was just tight all the way through, and they just snuck it out in the end.
I mean, historically, the Kings have done pretty well against the Warriors, against the spread. Now, they usually lose straight up, but we're usually catching, 8, 10, 12, and they do keep it close. It's almost like the Lakers, right? It's a rivalry for us, but not for them.
That's literally what I have written down, spread. It says trends show Sacramento cover, Golden State win.
Yeah, because we're all geeked up for the game. Remember when Draymond's like, I don't want to go to Sacramento on Tuesday night. So, Draymond, come hang out with us. Come hang out at the Knicks. You'll have a good time. I've seen Baron Davis there. I've seen some other NBA players there. Jordan even went up in there one night. When Jordan goes to the club, you can't even go near him. I mean, he has more security than a president. And the security's walking around, and for women to go into his booth, they sign NDAs before they even go in. I mean, that guy's got it going on. But a little stuff I learned working in the nightclub scene there. But you guys both think that the Kings keep it close. All right, I'll stay away. I don't need to bet against the Kings tonight. We have plenty, even though the numbers say it. Total of 235 here. Any thoughts on the total, Tyler?
Yeah, small lean to the over here, but probably stay away from it. I could see them getting up and down the floor, shooting a bunch of threes. Both teams really haven't played much defense this year, so could definitely see this going over.
JC, do you have any thoughts on the total or any props?
No props on this one. Yeah, I kind of echo what Tyler said. I kind of agree. I did have a stat: Curry's 30-9 in his career against the Kings, so that just completely goes to what you guys were saying. But seeing that the overs moved up 4.5 points, I don't want to touch it.
All right, enough about the Kings. What sucks about being a Kings fan? Whenever you listen to national podcasts, they never talk about them. And when they do, it's just to say that they're terrible and they move on. So maybe one day we'll become relevant again. Pardon?
Are they wrong?
No, I mean, they're not. It's just so sad. But maybe we can get something going here. I just don't think it'll be tonight. Let's talk about another team that's just as bad as the Kings, but they talk about them on the podcast incessantly. The Los Angeles Lakers are +5. They're in Utah. They just played this game. Now they run it back in the opposite arena. Tyler, you spoke about that earlier, but how do we approach this one?
Yeah, I mean, both these teams played they're both on a back-to-back. Utah played the late game last night against the Clippers. Fly back to Utah.
I'm my bad, but they played the Lakers on Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah, and then the Lakers played the Cavs yesterday, but they played them early in the afternoon. So they get the longer break here, but in the end, it's both still a back-to-back for both teams. The surprising thing about this is when you look at the injury report here, Spread, guess whose name's not on this thing? Anthony
LeBron?
Davis.
Oh.
The only guy
LeBron's
listed.
still on there?
No, LeBron's not on here either.
Wow, that's a miracle in itself.
The only two LA guys is Beverly's already listed out and Schroeder's still out. Conley's questionable, Vanderbilt's questionable. The third guy for the Jazz questionable. I don't think he's played all year. So small lean to the Jazz because this is gonna be an up-tempo game. They're gonna want to shoot a bunch of threes. And I just can't trust these Lakers guys to keep shooting well. They're shooting like 60%. Like this Matt Ryan guy, like, yeah, he might be a knockdown three-point shooter, but he's going to have spots where he just doesn't hit shots. I don't trust Reeves as much. Westbrook's playing better in his six-man role, but I think eventually that starts to die off and he gets a little frustrated with it. So give me Utah here. I think they win the game outright. They win it by about 7.
And that's so crazy because we did not think Utah would be good so far. Danny Ainge obviously doing something
They're
right.
pulling the OKC when they had CP3 a few years ago, where it's like this team was supposed to be bottomed out, and they're just winning games.
Yeah. Before we talk about this game, do I really have a Dexter vibe here, JC? Do I have a Dexter vibe? Unbelievable.
I mean, I never thought it, but being called out, I could see that. I thought the craziest thing I ever heard.
All right, on to the game. The Lakers +5 in Utah. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Davis and LeBron played when they played on the 4th, and it didn't make a difference. Utah still blew them out by 14. So, I mean, seeing the Jazz only got to cover by 3. Like Tyler pointed out, the turnaround maybe cause for concern, but I think it's early enough in the season. These guys are professional athletes. Being at home, yeah, give me the Jazz to lay 3.
All right. So you like the Jazz as well. This line's out to 5 for me on Bookmaker. Any props in this game, JC?
I'd be tempted to take the under on LeBron's points. I mean, seeing how he played, he only put up 17 when they played the Jazz last week. So, hold on.
Wasn't that a part of his quote unquote dealing with that virus though last week, where he was bedridden outside of the games? And it's like, yeah, you're bedridden, but you can get up and play 40 minutes. All right.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's got an excuse anytime he has a poor game. So, and seeing that his prop is at 26.5, yeah, I'll throw some money on the under.
Right.
Davis, though, sitting at 20.5 points, that might be worth an over as well.
Yeah, I don't see a matchup on the floor that can stop him.
No.
Our guy Johnny Nelson in the chat, all in on the Lake Show spread.
What else is new? What's up, Johnny? Haven't seen you for a while, though. Glad to have you in the chat. He's all in on the Lakers. We'll see how that turns out for you. So far, has not been a winning proposition this season, but still, the team has talent, at least at the top 2 spots.
Tell him, Johnny, it's a long season. We might be able to get back into this, bust into the play-in tournament, get into the playoffs. Spread just got to believe a little bit.
Well, okay. I'm definitely not going to believe in the Lakers. I mean, that's my only enjoyment in the NBA. I can't root for the Kings, so I root against the Lakers. That's all us Kings fan have. 2 years ago, when they were eliminated by the Suns, my neighborhood was lit off fireworks. I mean, that's all we have, you know. If the Lakers lose, we have a parade here because we have nothing to cheer about as far as our team. Let's talk about a team that does have something to cheer about, Tyler. You spoke about them at the top of the show. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in Los Angeles taking on the Clippers. My worry is they spent some time in Los Angeles, and we know how fun that can be for a young NBA team. Now they're laying 4 against the Clippers team that I think is going to be pretty short at point guard tonight, right? Reggie Jackson hurt. I don't expect him to play. And then, of course, John Wall doesn't play on back-to-backs. They say Jackson's questionable. From other reports I was reading, though, I'd be really surprised if he was out there. Kawhi, who knows if he's ever going to play again. Maybe him and
Third string point guard Kennard's out.
Yeah, Kennard's out. So it's basically the party time of LA versus the injuredness of the Clippers. Who do we take?
I'm going to trust that the veteran in Cleveland's locker room, Kevin Love, kept the young guys in check last night and gave me the
he was probably out with them.
He probably was.
Love that guy.
Probably was, but he probably was able to keep them like under wraps for a little bit. Nobody gets too crazy. Like, we got a game to play tomorrow night. So the other thing too is they had all day to party spread. So they could just be they could have got all that out yesterday during the day and recovered all night and into this morning before they have to play the last game of tonight. So there's a chance.
Tyler says the Cavaliers went to one of those rooftop pool parties, got home early. All right, I like it.
No, I got home early, but they had all day to party, enough time to rest up. I've seen young guys do it before, spread. Give me the Cavs.
Yeah, no, at my age, you can't do that. But, yeah, you guys can.
I just don't see, like, the Clippers. Like, if Paul George is hot and they beat me, so be it. But I don't see how they stop the bigs. If both guards are out there for Cleveland, they're going to have their way with this backcourt, too. So give me the Cavs. Wish I'd have got in on the -1 before it moved out.
JC, you have some experience in that LA scene. Do you think the Cavaliers are wise enough to be able to navigate it, or is LA going to strike again?
Absolutely not. No one's wise enough for LA. But I don't care. Like, I love the Clippers, but give me a hungover Cavaliers team over this Clippers team. Yeah, it's bad. Like, Kevin Love probably told them, guys, go have a great time. We got the Clippers tomorrow, Like, we already got LeBron out of the way. So, yeah, it's going to be ugly. I didn't have to do, any research on this game to know not to bet the Clippers.
All right. So we are taking the road dog after some time in Los Angeles. Definitely a brave call, but for basketball reasons, right, it's really tough to not take the Cavaliers here. So there you have it. We made it through 15 games and in some pretty good time. I definitely want to give ourselves a pat on the back for that. Well, instead of giving us a pat on the back, guys, why don't you go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and then we will give you the best bets. JC, let's start with you. What's your best bet for today? Side, total, or prop?
Yeah, I mean, I hate parlays. I'm a straight better all day. But, man, that Suns -2 parlayed with the over 216.5, I can't resist that. So jump all over that. And if you like a long shot, like I said, Trailblazers money line, it's all you need for today. Set that and you'll be great.
All right, those are great picks. And people watching the show love a long shot because Tyler has been money with them all year. But Tyler, before you give out the home run parlay, why don't you go ahead and let us know what your best bet is?
Yeah, I'm locking arms with JC. Give me that Suns -1.5. I think they smash them in this spot. The other one I'm going with, give me Detroit -1.5, -2 in that area. I think they beat this OKC team. And the other big thing, too, is you look at who OKC's played this year. They've had some soft spots where they can winnable games. They could have nice spots. You look at Detroit's schedule, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Golden State, Atlanta, their last 6 games. They've been tested. Now they get a free game against OKC. I think they could beat this team by 20 in this spot. Give me Detroit -2.
Detroit Pistons. All right. That's a good call there. I like it. Tyler, I know you're going to disagree with me here, but I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets +6. I just think the KD is going to have a huge game. I think they keep it close. And I know you talked about those guys wearing them down, and we'll see. I think it's just going to be too much for them. I think with the huge circus that the Brooklyn Nets have become, this is a nice time for KD to go ahead and just concentrate on what he really loves doing, and that's playing basketball. So I expect a big game for him tonight. And, hey, I don't know if they'll get the win outright. I'm not going to take the money line, but I do believe they keep it close. That's why I'm going to grab the points with the Brooklyn Nets. Tyler, did you have time to cook up a home run play, or is that going to be Discord tonight?
I'm making one now. The first 2 legs were Donovan Mitchell, 25+ points, Cleveland win, and Booker, 30+ in Phoenix wins. Which game do we want to use the third leg in? What are we thinking? Who's a clear shot winner here? Who wins the game? Anybody on the board? Who wins the game?
Pelicans.
Okay. So we want to go through a guard, or we want to go through a big there? CJ to score 20+ in New Orleans wins is +135.
What about
Let's go for a big.
If we went through Zion 25+ points in New Orleans wins, that gets us a 25-1.
I like that. You want to throw in a Warriors one too? Because I think they win straight up.
I mean, you want to go 4 legs. We usually make these 3, but
hey, we got a 15-game slate. Let's go.
Let's see. Do we want to just go Steph there? Or how do you want to do that one?
Yeah, Steph.
So you want to do the 30+, or do you want to go? I think 6 + 3s is a little bit of a lot.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, so let's get the 30+ plugged in there. That gets you 70-1.
All right, the people will love that if we hit that. And of course, we are swinging for the fences here on the NBA rundown. We did it, guys, in less than an hour. We did a 15-game slate, gave the people the info. We told them which games we're betting, which games we're passing on, which player props we're targeting, and what news we are waiting for. And all we ask for in return is to hit that thumbs up. JC, great having you on the show again. The people loved you last week. I'm sure they're going to love it again when you're back next week. And, of course, guys, because the other show's going long, I think that we're going to switch the start time to 12:30 Eastern. But we'll talk about that. And, of course, I'll post it on Twitter. I keep getting the times wrong. My apologies for that. But with that out of the way, JC, do you want to give him some words of wisdom before we sign off?
Bet straight and run pure.
All right. Richie Small is asking, is there an NFL show today? Yes. Tyler, Title, and I will be started in 8 minutes. So gives us time to grab some coffee, use the bathroom, and be back talking some touchdowns here on RunPureSports.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Run Pure.